o'clock CNN News. Tonight we have a breaking news alert and developing story on the Group of Eight. The world-renowned Group of Eight has recently become the Group of Seven as Russia has been suspended for its actions in Crimea, Ukraine. But before we fill you on the story, first let's look at the history and events leading up to the creation and tasks of the Group of Eight. Now let's turn it over to Nick for the inside story. Nick?
Thanks, Landon, and hello to all. All this began many years ago in 1975 and was then known as the G6 or Group of Six. 6 countries involved and belonging to this group were France, West Germany, Japan, Italy, and the United Kingdom and the United States, which at the time were the world's industrial leaders and also anti-communist. At this time, the only way to belong to this group or to get into this group was to be anti-communist and to be a world industrial leader. These countries would discuss matters and search for answers to world issues such as economic, political, and environmental issues. Some of the hot topics, so to speak, that were discussed in this time period were inflation, the recession into the 1973 oil crisis, when the Arabs tightened up on their oil prices and policies, which caused gas prices to skyrocket. One of the final topics was climate change. Now, many of you who have never heard of this organization wonder why it is important or beneficial to the very citizens it was made to help. It has made the world more effective and consumer-friendly. The organizations try to cut out any processes or jobs that are not efficient or do not produce at an efficient rate. Now let's turn it over to Matt for the inside story on the current situation of the organization. Matt?
Today, the former Group of Six has molded into the Group of Eight, but unfortunately, due to recent events in Crimea, Ukraine, and Vladimir Putin's involvement with communism, Russia has been suspended from the group until they pull all military forces out of Crimea. Therefore, today, this organization has been changed to the Group of Seven. Although the organization has made changes to benefit the world's citizens, their ideals have remained the same and they still wish to improve the world. Now we will cut to a clip of Barack Obama welcoming the other members of G8 to last year's summit.
And he said some bad things to this.
All right, everybody, listen up. First of all, I want to welcome all the leaders here. The press, you're welcome as long as you don't break anything. This is, by the way, the largest gathering ever of international leaders at Camp David, and I'm glad that we could arrange for good weather. Last night, we had a chance to discuss some core issues that affect our common security.
The names of the G8 leaders are Stephen Harper from Canada, Francois Hollande from France, Angela Merkel from Germany, Matteo Renzi from Italy, Shinzo Abe from Japan, David Cameron from Great Britain, Barack Obama from the US, Jose Manuel Barroso from the EU, and Herman Van Rompuy, also from the EU. Obviously, there's no way for the group to agree on every topic, so that is where this becomes slightly complicated, because every country has their own culture, religion, and rules to stick to and respect. Before the formation of the Group of Eight, the Cold War had been going on for about 10 years, and communism had been a serious threat to the world. There was no outlet for non-communist countries to speak their mind about key issues and events. Capitalist countries did not have a system of unity or any physical connection to each other. This clip shows how hard it is to agree on a specific topic.
Just industrial countries met and announced they were suspending Russia from membership. The G8 is back to 7 for now. And no one's coming to the summit Vladimir Putin was to host this.
History has changed with these events because the Cold War was coming to a steady decline and the world was getting ready for peaceful times ahead, and worldwide governing bodies were forming. The Group of Six was originally formed in 1975, and it consisted of France, West Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States. These were at the time the wealthiest and economically and politically stable countries. In 1976, Canada joined the group, which totaled it to 7 countries, forming the G7. The European Union was also in this group meeting, but does not have an official name tag. Russia was added to the group in 1998, and it was then suspended for its actions in Crimea, Ukraine. When Russia joined the G7, that was the turning point in history. A country which was communist just 8 years ago was now being accepted into an all-democratic and capitalist group of countries. Then another turning point happened in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea, Ukraine, and its surrounding areas. Here's Landon with the rest of this report.
Alternatives are sanctions on Russia, don't accept Russia into this group but lose it as a potential ally. Armies are at stake. Economies in Europe are at stake with the suspension of Russia due to Russia's oil. Russia finally gets suspended, and then the outcome is Russia finally gets suspended for the first time being from the G8, and now it's going back to the G7. The G7 is the most financially successful countries together in the world in one group, and they all meet at their annual summit in different hosting countries. This year, the 2014, the 41st summit was to be held in Sochi, Russia, but since the suspension of Russia in March, the summit will now be held in Belgium. The 2015 summit will be held in Germany. The EU, the European Union, has increasing sanctions being placed onto Russia for its actions in Crimea, Ukraine.